Hello, good Tuesday morning. I just wanted to share something. I get emails from Dr. Mark Hyman, who is one of the doctors that I follow because of brain health in general, but because of his Alzheimer's research. And he sent out an email. Gosh, it's probably been over a week ago, and I've kind of just sat on this email, and I've opened it up and I've read it and closed it, and opened it up and read it and closed it, and there's just something about the topic that really felt like a missing piece for me, and felt like this kind of aha moment with health. So I just wanted to share it, and I'm going to actually share the majority of the email that he wrote because he worded it so great, obviously, and I just wanted to kind of get his thought out and then share a little bit about it. So his email is called Spiritual Bankruptcy, and I consider myself a very spiritual person, so that hooked me. I wanted to know what he was talking about because his emails to me are about health. So I'm like, what does spirituality have to do with health? Well, it has a lot to do with health. So he talks about his own health journey because he was very, very ill, and he healed himself through functional medicine, and his story is very impactful. But I'm not gonna tell you his whole story. I'm gonna just tell you where this starts. So it says, real life got in the way, and I let go of the daily practices that had kept me grounded. So for him, that was meditation and some other things. So, the things we call spiritual practice. So prayer, meditation, all those things, right? So what he said was, I was no longer present. I couldn't find joy in simple pleasures like a beautiful sunrise or a sunset. I stopped speaking up about the things I cared about, and I couldn't even maintain focus when I was in a conversation with a loved one. I was disconnected. It wasn't until I went on my own journey to become healthy again that I realized that all of the practices that I gave up were an integral part in keeping me healthy and happy. And I can't tell you how many patients I have seen who seem to be doing everything right. They eat the right foods, they take the right supplements, they're exercising, and yet they still can't seem to get better. As a functional medicine doctor, I believe it's my duty to look at the whole picture, not just what my patients are eating or if they're exercising. I truly believe that if your spirit is broken, if your connection to yourself and your values has been shaken, you will become ill. Our connection to our truth and our values keeps us grounded in integrity. It helps us stay aware of who we are at a core level, understanding our own individual purpose and how to be present amidst the distractions of life. And then he goes on to talk about his friend, Dr. Shivali Sabri, which, by the way, if you ever get a chance to listen to her, she's amazing. I think you might be able to find her on YouTube. But Dr. Sabari says that looking back at childhood, we realize we each had that something that we so badly seek as adults. We trusted our significance, we had immeasurable wonder, and we were fully present in every moment. We were overflowing with our authentic self. But then we lost it as we strive to become worthy, to meet other people's standards, to check off all the boxes of what's supposed to make us happy, the right house, the right job, the right spouse, the right career, only to realize that we feel incomplete and empty. Dr. Shivali calls this spirit abduction. Regaining our spirit allows us to awaken to who we truly are. We inherently all want to find that deep connection with ourselves and with others and reclaim our purpose for being here. Understanding that we had that something, that authentic point that authentic spirit so freely and naturally at one point in time is the first step in gaining it back. As we discuss this intangible aspect of wellness, it becomes clear that there is more to the human experience than we can see under a microscope. And while spirit is not something we are able to measure on an individual level, we can quantitatively see its impact on health in other ways. A great example of this can be seen in the aloha spirit of the Hawaiian culture, which is the presence and respect of the life force within each of us and the connection between heart and mind that we call self. This idea of the aloha spirit is so ingrained in their culture, it is actually part of their state law. And a study was published in the Hawaiian Journal of Medicine and Public Health, where they investigated how the aloha spirit correlated with psychological stress and depression in the face of discrimination, identity, race, ethnicity, and other sociodemographic factors. And what the researchers found was that it reduced those things. And they had less psychological stress, they had less depression, and it didn't matter what the influences were around them. They all seemed to fare better because of this connection. And so the point here is this: having a positive belief system about who you are, your place in the world, your interactions with others means faring better in all the other facets of your life. So it makes you resilient, both mentally and physically. So we think about health as, eating right and exercising and getting enough sleep and, taking supplements and eating antioxidants and doing all of these things, right? That's what we think health is. But health is more than that. Health has a spiritual component. And if we don't address the spiritual component, we can do everything and still not end up whole and healthy, because we are inherently spiritual beings having a human experience, and we have to tie that into the whole picture. So you need to identify what makes up your attitudes, your values, your personality, your passions. These are the things that help you embrace spirit. They help you develop your sense of self, to feel a greater awareness of life in general and your purpose in this life. So we're here for connection to each other and to ourselves. And so if you are feeling disconnected, if you're, in a group of people and you don't feel connected, if you're sitting there next to your spouse and you're feeling disconnected, like he talked about in the beginning when he said that, he felt he couldn't enjoy the simple pleasures in life anymore. Like if that's you, then you're feeling spiritually bankrupt, and it's time to take back what was lost, to remember that you are this amazing being. Like if anyone spends time with a child, you can see the way we are meant to be in this world. They are so vibrant and so full of life and so fully present in every moment. They experience every emotion as it comes, and they live fully, and they taste life, and they're not afraid to experiment and to go after what they want. I mean, they just spend some time watching children, and you'll see how we're meant to be as adults before we allowed culture and society and our parents and other adults tell us what wasn't acceptable, tell us what we needed to conform to be like in order to, be productive in this world. We've shut down that communication with that side of us. So that is my little tip for today, is if you're doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing, if you're eating right, if you're sleeping, if you're, taking your vitamins, if you're doing all the things that you know to do to be healthy, and you're still not coming out of, physical sickness or illness, then maybe it's time for you to look at the spiritual component. Maybe it's time for you to focus on how you are spiritually connected to yourself and to others. so that you don't have to live a life of spiritual bankruptcy, and you can live a life that is full and vibrant and active and is a shining light to everyone around you. I think that we all want that. We all want to be the best version of ourselves. And if you're going to do that, you absolutely cannot ignore the spiritual side of who you are. No matter how you define it, no matter what box you put it in, what label you use to describe it, we all have that side of us, and we all need to tap into it, and we all need to be connected, and we all need to have spiritual practices that we do every single day that help keep us grounded, so that when life throws curveballs at us, we can actually make it through them and not just survive, but to thrive. So I hope that that's got meaning for you today, and that someone out there who watches this video needed to hear this today. So I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for jumping on and joining me. And as always, if you feel it had information for you or for others, feel free to share. Bye.